Hey you guys, this is Marcus. I saw Deadpool and Wolverine and it is phenomenal. Warning, this is a spoiler review, so for those who haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine, I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's definitely one of the best MCU films to date. Before I get started by breaking everything down from the cameos, the guest appearances, and the future of the MCU, thank you guys so much for your support. It really means a lot to me. And for those who are new to my channel, make sure you like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, and make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications whenever I drop a video. And we're going to always keep this thing rolling, guys. So let's get right into it. This movie is everything. And there were at least two expectations that I was going into with seeing Deadpool and Wolverine. And the first expectation is seeing Taylor Swift as Dazzler. And Taylor Swift was one of my favorite artists. I love her music, and she fits the Dazzler persona so well. And there was rumors that she was going to show up in Deadpool and Wolverine. And given the fact that she's also friends with Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Ryan's wife, Blake Lively, that it was a possibility we would have seen Taylor Swift as Dazzler in the cameo. Because Dazzler is also a popular singer in the Marvel lore as well, because she's also a mutant who can actually transform suns and convert it into light energy. And so, given the fact that we're going into the mutant era in the MCU, her showing up would have definitely been epic. So I did actually expect to see Dazzler, and of course, given the fact that both Taylor Swift and Dazzler share the same name, because Taylor Allison Swift is her full name, and Dazzler's real name is Allison Blair, the two Allisons, it definitely would make sense for sure. But I'm not holding it out, because I believe we'll probably see her eventually, and given the fact that probably due to the fact that she was busy touring, and she just finished her Eras tour as well though, so I believe we'll definitely see T Swift in the MCU eventually though, so. And also the second expectation was seeing the rest of the X-Men in their comic accurate suits as well. I definitely wanted to see them in Deadpool and Wolverine because we actually did get a chance to see Professor Xavier showing up in Multiverse of Madness, and then we saw Beast in the end credit scene of the Marvels. It definitely would have made sense to have the rest of the X-Men show up. But, however, the rest of the cameos made up for that as well, and I'll get into that in a second as well. But, again, given the fact that we're in the mutant era now in the MCU, and now that we have a chance to actually see more mutants showing up in the MCU, we'll definitely see more mutants for sure, though. So, but again, this movie, guys, is everything. Especially at the beginning of the... It was so funny. The beginning of the movie had me rolling because Deadpool took out the TVA members and the background music of Bye 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 by NSYNC was playing while he was using the shield of Logan's adamantium bones and took out the rest of the TVA members. It was so hysterical, and it's what you would expect from a Deadpool movie. And so, of course, that Logan had already died in the Sacred Timeline, and Deadpool's universe was already going to be extinct anyway, because that particular Logan from the Logan movie was the anchor of the timeline. And so Deadpool ends up meeting with Mr. Paradox. Before that, he was celebrating with his friends, and he ends up meeting with Mr. Paradox, and he actually had retired from being a mercenary, but the TV actually apprehended Deadpool anyway. And of course, Mr. Paradox was telling him that he has to find a variant of Logan to pretty much keep the timeline safe. And so this is the cool part too. The cool part is that we actually see the variants of Logan while Deadpool was trying to find a variant of Logan. So we actually see Patch. Patch is actually pretty cool too. And of course, Patch actually first appeared in Wolverine #1, and that was when the X-Men were declared dead in the comic book lore. And so Logan went into disguise as Patch, and he was wearing different suits, and he had on an eye patch pretty much. And then we actually see Fever Dream Logan. Fever Dream Logan actually appeared in Uncanny X-Men #251, where Logan hung on the X cross, and he was being tortured by the Reavers. And so that was actually an epic scene too, though. And so seeing that come to life was definitely epic too, though. So we all marked out seeing all the Wolverine variants. And then we actually see Hulk versus Wolverine as well, and they fought so many times too. And of course, we actually see the scene where Logan pops out his claws, and we see the Hulk's face in it too when he was warring. And so that actually goes all the way back to their first fight in Incredible Hulk number 181. And then of course Wolverine wearing the brown suit, that's in Uncanny X-Men number 139. And then Incredible Hulk number 340 was when he fought the Grey Hulk. So that scene actually came from that though. And another Logan variant that we actually see, you guys, was really cool. We saw Henry Cavill, aka Superman, in Wolverine 2. So that was actually pretty awesome seeing him as Wolverine. And Deadpool was actually telling him that Marvel Studios was going to treat him better than Warner Brothers. So it was just so hilarious. Of course, Warner Brothers owns DC Comics, and of course, that was so funny, you guys. So seeing those Wolverine cameos was actually epic. And then we actually do see Age of Apocalypse Logan as well, though. Wolverine missing his arm, or basically missing his hand. That was actually pretty epic too, though. So, but seeing those Wolverine cameos, the different variants, was definitely epic though. But we actually do get a chance to see Wolverine. Deadpool does find Wolverine, and then of course that particular Wolverine let down his friends and the X-Men there too though. So, but man, it was just so epic seeing the Wolverine cameos. And of course, we actually get the chance to see more cameos. So we actually see some of the mutants that were teaming with Magneto, like Pyro. Pyro actually works for Cassandra Nova, so it was actually really cool seeing him again. We see Callisto as well, and they all work for Cassandra Nova. And then we actually see Psylocke as well, and then we actually see Toad, played by Ray Parks. That was actually pretty cool. So there's like other cameos as well. The Russian, who's also the Punisher villain, he ends up showing up as well. So, and then of course we actually see Chris Evans reprise his role as Johnny Storm. So, and my theater actually went nuts because I thought for a second we saw a variant of Captain America, but it wasn't the case because he was wearing, what actually gave it away was that he was wearing a red, white, and blue strands. And so I thought we actually saw Captain America in the variant of Captain America, and Deadpool was actually about to say Avengers Assemble, but he actually said Flame On instead. So I was like, it's Chris Evans reprising his role from the Fantastic Four from the previous movie. So it's hilarious. So we basically just see most of the Fox studio heroes that were pretty much under 20th Century Fox at that particular time. So it was actually pretty cool. Also too, we see different other types of like different cameos, like for example the scene where Wolverine was grabbing on the foot of the Sentinel. That was actually pretty cool too. And of course Cassandra Nova is the main baddie in the movie as well. She's the twin sister of Charles Xavier. She's also what you would call a Mummadry. So she's the one that had a battle with Professor Xavier in the mom's moon, and she was trying to take him out. So that actually happened in one of the new X-Men comics as well though. So, but yeah, and guys, we see more cameos too, man. We actually see, we knew that X-23 was going to show up because it pretty much gave a spoiler that X-23 and Lady Deadpool was going to show up, but I had no idea that Blade was going to show up. You gotta be kidding me. Blade actually shows up. Wesley Snipes reprises his role as Blade the Vampire Hunter. And of course, Elektra shows up as well. And I kind of had a feeling she was going to show up because there was rumors that Jennifer Garner was going to reprise her role as Elektra. But in the midst of it, I had no idea that Gambit was going to show up. And Gambit is played by Channing Tatum. And Channing has been wanting to be Gambit for so long that this actually was a dream come true for him, because they were going to work on a Gambit project for 20th Century Fox, but that project actually fell under, And Channing was disappointed by that. However, it all comes full circle for Channing Tatum because he shows up as Gambit and he actually has the Cajun dialect to a T. It was so cool. And of course, Channing was talking about the dialect in one of his last interviews too, about how he would have definitely make a perfect Gambit for sure. So this actually came full circle for him. And then we see X-23, played by Daphne King. And she was the one that actually was one of the leaders of that resistance where we were going to go up against Cassandra Nova. So we all barked out when we saw Elektra, Blade, and Gambit. So Gambit was unexpected, and so was Blade. And Wesley Snipes still looks great too. He looks phenomenal. So, but yeah, just those cameos alone was just really much awesome though. So, and then of course we see Alive. Alive is the one that actually devours different realities. And Alive actually appeared in season 1, episode 5 of Loki. But as far as the character goes, the comic book lore, Alive also makes an appearance in the Terminator Objective, which was the first issue back in 1993. So it was definitely one of the Avengers storyline. And it's definitely one of my favorite storylines too. Those arcs are actually in my comic collection. So it was really cool actually seeing that though. So I knew about Alive when I first saw the 5th episode of Loki. So I was thinking like, they're actually taking a bit from the older comics, which is what I love though. So it's pretty cool though. But the older and the newer comics, like the MCU will always take references from that though. So which is one of the reasons why I love it a lot though. So, but guys, other than that though, this movie was just amazing. It was incredible. We actually do see more different cameos, but they're mostly just like different ships and vehicles. For example, we actually see the helicarrier. Of course, the helicarrier was made by S.H.I.E.L.D. Of course, S.H.I.E.L.D. is no longer active in the recent MCU movies. And then we actually have the Milano. The Milano was actually a ship which was piloted by Peter Quill in the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then, of course, we see the Fantastic Car, which is actually written by Pyro and the rest of the Cassandra Nova's henchmen. So it was actually pretty cool seeing those vehicles as well. So I definitely enjoyed seeing those cameos, you guys. It was definitely amazing. It was definitely spot on. And of course, there was another cameo where we actually see the 5th issue of Secret Wars, where we see Wolverine standing over top of Deadpool. He was going to use his claws to get him up, and of course they were fought multiple times. But if you look on the left side, you actually see the Secret Wars comic there as well though. So, and of course, it actually is setting up to where Deadpool and Wolverine are going to appear in Secret Wars as well. So it was actually pretty cool to see that thing. So, like I said, they more than likely will take elements from Jonathan Hickman's storyline and a little bit of Jim Shooter's Secret Wars as well, because the 1980s is what kicked off the first Secret Wars in 1984, and then we have 2015 Secret Wars as well. So they're definitely going to at least add more multiverses and incursions as well though. So, but yeah, other than that though, you guys, the cameos was just amazing. The fight scenes was incredible, and man, the fight scene between Deadpool and Wolverine is so accurate too, because they fought inside the Honda Odyssey, and it was just so hilarious at the same time. They were tearing each other up, and it's definitely how you would practically depict from the original comic book lore as well though. So it was actually pretty awesome. Then we see the Deadpool Corps. And speaking of Blake Lively, she ends up playing Lady Deadpool. And of course, Nice Pool, played by Ryan Reynolds. Man, I felt bad for Nice Pool. Nice Pool deserved a lot more better treatment. And then we see Dogpool as well, Nice Pool's pet. So we see Dogpool, and he actually was trying to fight Nice Pool to take Dogpool away from him, and it was just so funny seeing that though. All the Deadpool Corps can regenerate except for Nice Pool. So Deadpool not only got Johnny Storm killed in their first confrontation with Cassandra Nova, but he also got Nice Pool killed as well. So Deadpool has no chill whatsoever. But it was pretty cool seeing the Deadpool Corps. One of Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's kids actually was part of the Deadpool Corps as well. So it was actually pretty cool seeing that though. And Matthew McConaughey actually voiced Cowboy Deadpool. And then Deadpool was voiced by Nathan Fillion as well. So it was actually pretty cool. And they were depicted perfectly. So it was pretty awesome seeing Deadpool core. And it was pretty awesome too. So, but guys, this movie was definitely amazing. And we finally have the coolest moment too. Is that we finally get a chance to see Logan put on his comic accurate mask. That's epic, you guys. It was just so cool to pretty much see that too, guys. So there was a lot of feel-good moments, a lot of epic moments for sure that'll leave you at the edge of your seat. And you guys will definitely enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine for sure though. I loved it, my friends loved it, we all saw it at the theater. It was just definitely amazing for sure though, you guys. So again, this movie sets up Secret Wars in the future of the MCU. We finally have mutants as well. And this is definitely, not only did it take jabs of 20th Century Fox, but it also was a good love letter to them as well, because the end credit scenes, we actually do hear good riddance by Green Day. So it was a feel-good moment, and I had a tear in my eye as well, pretty much because like those were the movies that I grew up seeing. And without 20th Century Fox, without Sony, without Paramount, without Universal, we wouldn't even have the MCU as we have now. Because now Kevin Feige has all the IPs of all the Marvel characters, save for the fact that they're still borrowing Spider-Man from Sony. But other than that, we are so back. The MCU is so back, you guys. So it's amazing. So this movie is definitely a 14 out of 10. That's my ranking. So it's so amazing, you guys. And also, my other depiction was, I did depict that Deadpool and Wolverine were going to save Tony Stark from sacrificing himself to snap Thanos and his army from the Black Order. So I did depict that as well. That didn't happen. However, over the weekend, there was also the news that RDJ is coming back as Dr. Doom. I'll do a separate video for that because that was crazy. So just hearing that and see this movie over the weekend was it was a lot of news for me to take into. So, but in my separate video, I'll talk about my thoughts about RDJ coming back, so you guys be on the lookout for that as well, because it happened at San Diego Comic-Con. So I'll definitely talk about that in my next video. So, but like I said, you guys, we are so back. This is a great opportunity for Marvel to at least get back to the good graces of the fans, and I'm definitely on board with that as well, you guys. So again, Deadpool Wolverine, my ranking is a 14 out of 10. I love this movie. I'm going to go back and rewatch it over again as well, and the cameos are just perfect too, you guys. So, but what do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys have seen Deadpool and Wolverine, or if you guys haven't, let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments down below. And I'm looking forward to the future of the MCU, guys. It's going to be amazing. But I love you guys. Thank y'all so much for your support. It really means a lot to me. And shout out to everybody from Marvel Studios. I cannot wait to see more MCU movies coming up as well. It's definitely going to be awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to Deadpool and Wolverine teaming up again. So, but I love you guys. You guys be good to each other. Love each other. Excelsior. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.